Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. This is Connie. I want to welcome back all of my subscribers and welcome to my new subscribers. Thank you very much for all of your support. I put together the camping gnomes from Cuddly Cute Designs, and I really thought I had done a video previously. I didn't find one, so I'm going to just do an assembly video. I have inked all of the pieces. If you have any questions that I don't give you answers to when I'm doing the video here, just leave a comment. What I want to show you with this one, I did use a dark green, and then that was my first layer, and then it came in with basic gray from Stampin' Up. It's a darker gray, and went over my green, and that gave me more contrast. And because I got a little bit heavy-handed with the inking, I decided not to do any embossing. I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I will give you a few dimensions. The gnomes themselves, just the gnomes, are cut at, so they're about 4.5 inches tall. I can't remember. The other pieces are pretty close to coordinating with that size, if you're wondering. So, but I'll give you an idea with the tree, and then the rest kind of coordinate with that. So, sorry, it's getting kind of late, and I'm just trying to figure out so that I can see. And I noticed, and I apologize, I see I have a couple comments that I haven't gotten back to. They didn't show up on my normal comments on YouTube. I don't know what happened. And I keep forgetting to go back in and get to them. I am so sorry. I'm having some memory problems, and so yeah, I can't remember to do a lot of things. But one thing I want to apologize for, I think I mentioned I have a new camera and tripod, and I'm trying to figure out the best angle and everything, so I apologize if the videos aren't all close enough for you. I'm hoping this one is, and I'm trying to stay in frame for a change. It's where I need to look. The camera holder is, of course, right in my way. How do you like that? I will come back and highlight some of this stuff as I'm working on it. I just like to kind of finish it first. I did a few things, but for the most part not. So the tree, because I left a longer trunk, and that's kind of how a lot of our trees are, so around here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 3/4. You can make it a little bit shorter, that's no big deal. I have the clouds, have 3 clouds. I just inked those. I'm not going to do anything further with those. I'm setting things off to the side here a little bit as I get done with them. The moon is about probably say 1 7/8 inch high. The stars I just lightly inked because I'm going to be putting yellow glitter glue on those, or yellow, it's Nouveau glitter drops. I'm not sure exactly what they're called. And I'll put this together. I'm not going to glue the logs together until I'm going to put the logs, each log together. That's my flame. Just did some extra chalking there too. And again, I'll come back on some of these pieces and put some more highlights. I've got a little bit on the lighter yellow. What I was trying to say is I'm going to put the logs together. I'm not going to glue them with the flame or anything. I'm just going to leave that till I get ready to do what I'm going to do with this. I don't think this is going to show up real well. Not it backwards anyway. I used a colored pencil to draw some rings in the end of the tree. Now this is the top. I embossed it, okay, and I used the, say I have it here on my desk for once, the Sizzix. It was from Stampin' Up. It's the wood grain embossing folder. There's a few of them. I have an older Cuddlebug one too. What I was going to say about this, the logs have little notches and they correspond with the notches on the top piece. So that's what I was trying to babble about. I hope everyone is doing okay and staying safe with the hurricane. I apologize, I kind of coming and going with trying to get a nasty cold or sinus infection, and that's pretty serious for me, so I'm trying to be really careful. So, and I did this log, I did the rings also. You could use a marker. I don't have Copic markers. I like my colored pencils and I do use those a lot on my paper pieces. I might first ink, like for example, I'll show you on the tree what I mean. Excuse me. I just like the texture that wood grain gave the logs. What I was going to say about the markers, or the colored pencils, I would go with the ink first, and then I could have gone over it, smudged it up with the colored pencil also. I just managed to do it with the ink, with the sponge dauber, so it worked good. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this because I think I've got some highlighting on. I don't know if it picks up on the camera on my flames, so I'm gonna leave those alone. I'm just putting these in here until put them in my baggie. This is how I store my pieces also when I cut them out, and if I don't ink them right away, well, even when I cut them out, I just put them in here. I might ink them right away and then not put them together. Sometimes, otherwise, I just store my finished pieces. Everybody has a different way of doing it. I just have done this for so long. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna just do this marshmallow on the roasting on the stick right away. On both of the marshmallows, I took, again, I don't know how well that's showing. It's got a little mark on the top, and I used a gray colored pencil just to kind of it just kind of makes it more 3D. Again, not something you have to do. I don't know, it enhances it. Wow, I can't talk tonight. Okay. So, some of my bigger pieces, I do I use my beacon glue just because it's easier to glue them. What you have here is your body type piece. You will not have a round head for this, like the flesh tone. You're just gonna, I was just finishing up inking the girl and the lady, and I thought, I've got no circle for my man, and that's why. And they match up at the top, and he'll come down below the bottom of it. So I just want to kind of give you a heads up with that. You're not doing anything wrong. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue right at the bottom there to hold it until I get it kind of finished. And Let's see if putting my glasses on will help. I've got I've got bright lights on here since it's evening, and I want to make sure I can see what I'm doing. You kind of want to have the bottom of his beard, you know, in the middle of the two pieces. I'm not putting his hat on yet. I will wait for a little bit. I'm going to work on his little shoes. I kind of pretty much, as best I could, you know, followed the colors for this one. The gray piece goes over the top of the shoe. Sometimes it goes underneath, majority of the time not. And there's also an indentation on the shoe where that gray piece fits. So that's really nice. And in my glue bottle, I tell you this all the time, but for the new subscribers, I use reptile glue. Everybody has their own preference. I just ordered some of that and some art glitter glue because in the winter or when it starts getting cold, there is no ordering this kind of glue. So I don't know about Barely Art glue. I don't use it. I haven't tried it yet. So anyway. Okay, now his shoes will fit to the end of each tip. And I was just checking that. So I'm going to put them, I'm lining them up on my grid so they're fairly straight, and just put a little bit of glue here. And a little bit on the back. I just put it on the edges there. And hold this down. And that's my scientific way of putting his shoes on. Nothing too difficult. Okay. I'm going to take his sleeves, put his arms on, and I just put some glue at the bottom of the sleeve, and then I just put some on the top. I match up the top of the sleeve and the top of the arm, and there you have it. Do the other one. These are very simple to do. If you don't like to do faces, you know, the eyes and everything, gnomes are the way to go because you don't have all of that. Before I put this on, I want to add a little bit of chalk. It's easier now than when they're attached. So, and I use titanium white pan pastels. That's what I'm using there. Just kind of it probably looks, I've noticed, that was way too much. I've noticed in photos that this stuff shows up much more than it does in real life. So now in this case I've got quite a bit, so take some off. Okay, and then I want to put some ink on here, or excuse me, pan pastels. I could have had this done before I came on video, but I kind of wanted to show you a little bit how I do it. And okay, now I'm going to put the brim of his hat on before I do anything else. One thing I think the Barely Art glue, correct me if I'm wrong, does this too, but I know the reptile glue gives me a little bit more time to move things around, although I'm getting better with art glitter glue. I just do not press anything down and then I can pick it up again. Okay. What I'm doing now is I'm going to figure out where I want his hat, and I think I'm going to use my grid again. 3, 4, come down just a little bit. He's a little bit higher than, I'm going to use a pencil here because it's going to get covered up anyway with the nose. I'm just going to put glue there, or a pencil mark there, and when I have larger areas to cover, I like to use my beacon glue also. It just makes it easier. I kind of want to get this centered on his head. And since I don't know when I'm going to be inking things and assembling, I always put a pencil mark on the backs of my pieces, so if you wonder what that's from, that's why. Now we need to come in, and I'm going to put his beard down just a little bit and double check with his nose here. That's where I want it. Just a little bit more down. Let's see. Trying to keep my glues covered because it's extremely dry and I don't want them drying out because I tend to forget to put the lids on. Talk about memory problems. It's a real problem. All right, I'm just going to put it right at the edge of the brim of his hat. I like that, and it just goes just right there. Personal preference where you want to put it. Don't misunderstand. Okay, and his nose, his arms. His arms you actually are going to glue this way, and I'm just going to eyeball where I want them. Excuse me. Try to get them somewhat even though. Let's see. Then we're going to come back in with the stick, and if I forgot to mention, if you have any questions, please do leave a comment. I'll get back to you. Sometimes it takes me a little bit. I do apologize. I know I've got one there that's got a question, and I'm sorry. I will honestly get back to you as soon as I can. I'll make a reminder on my phone. Maybe I can remember to do it tomorrow. That's how I remember to do things. I just throw notes away, so on paper anymore. Okay, and his hand, like that. Let me put the lid on the glue quick and we'll finish detailing him. I've gotten way too much from using a lot of white gel pen on my pieces. I really just started, can't get the lid on, I can't see. I'm trying to highlight more with pan pastels or with ink and not use so much for pan pastels. I like it better with just the highlight from the pan pastels or the ink, or if you're good with white pigment ink, that works extremely well. So I don't always talk when I'm doing this. I'm sorry, I have to concentrate. I'm going to do a little bit, but white pen pastels, but not a lot. Do a little bit on his hat, and I'm using a number 10 gel pen, or maybe not. There, I think it's gonna start now. That's all I'm gonna do. I don't want to do a whole lot, so I just like them, like I said, plain. So, okay, I'm gonna set him off to the side, and I will start on the lady. And I'm going to start with her bows first, so I don't lose these little tiny pieces there. Her bows are actually cut from a gray, it's kind of a slate gray, I guess. I'm not sure. It's got a little bit of a blue tinge, and I just used, if you're familiar with Stampin' Up! Inks, I used Marina Mist. I didn't use another color. I only used that. Didn't need a lot. I didn't want it too dark on there. So now I've got to find the other little tiny piece. There it is. Okay. Can get these on sometimes these little pieces I can have a struggle with, so it doesn't look quite straight. I know it's not. Better. Okay, and I'm going to put her shoes together. Trying to make sure I was still in frame here. Sorry, I forget to talk. It's late and no one is, I mean, it's just like a ghost town in my apartment complex, and it's so incredibly quiet. I shut the windows just because it was kind of noisy outside, which pretty unusual. And now it's just dead quiet. And I'm so used to, living alone. I just, I'm used to it being quiet, so I forget to talk. One of these days I might actually start using my glass mat for my chalks too. I just put them on my hand and it takes a while to come off. I'm always hoping that I remember to wash my hands before I go to the store or something, because I've forgotten at times and I get some strange looks. So probably not my hands, but okay, so I'm doing the arms the same way. I don't have any rhyme or reason to how I put things together, honestly. I just kind of layer pieces that I know first, and then I go from there. I have done this set before, and I am not looking at the computer or anything, if you're wondering, so just kind of, here it is. Just going from memory. It said gnomes to me are very simple to put together. Now I know that's not the case for everybody, but okay. I start by buffing them out with my fingers, and I still may come back and play with them some, but you don't need a lot of highlight for a lot of things. It's just kind of to have it there. It's kind of nice. So I took a little too much off of this one. I can spend quite a bit of time just in detailing. Just, if I don't quit, I just keep putzing at it. So, here's another piece that I know it's just gonna pop on the end here. And I kind of want to just see once it's not gonna work. Just try to line it up the best I can. Okay, now the lady is a little bit different. You have her body and you have the head. And if I remember correctly, I'm just gonna dry do this a minute. Yeah, so it'll be her face, or the round circle for face first. This one, if it's not matched up 100% around the sides of the hair and the hat covered up, so you're fine with that. Just to kind of, if you're wondering, again, I didn't do this for the man first, and it's easier to do this first. Okay, now we're going to put her hair on. Let's see. Don't put glue all the way down. I'm just putting it to about the first set of braids there because you've got room here that it's not going to have any glue or adhesive on there. So this one I want to try to get fairly straight, coming down with her hair. So, and then I put a little bit of glue coming down. Oh God, and I got it way off. Guess what? I was trying not to have to put it on the white, but I guess that was not so smart. Don't do what I do, right? Okay, now I'm going to bring her shoes in. Again, the shoes are just going to line up with the bottom of her outfit. So I think I'm going to try to put them pretty much together. Oops, that one's really crooked. Yeah, that's good. Tack them like they're going to go somewhere. And I'll show you in a minute here. I just put some glue along the bottom there. Her braids are in my way. Trying to see what I'm doing. Shoes just a hair. Okay, I'm gonna put some glue on the bottom of her braids so they don't come off. If there are any paper pieces that you would like to see put together, please let me know. I can help you out. I kind of stopped with my Christmas and Thanksgiving card project, and I'm happy to say I just have to put sentiments in the cards, and I need to restock a few envelopes, and then I am done with those. And then I'm going to start figuring out what I'm doing for Christmas. I kind of want to do some 3D projects. It's the pits now not working, and my neighbors, they just don't really get involved in too much of anything, so I just not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe a little bit for my family, I'm not sure yet. Okay, so again, I'm going to put her hat on. I'm going to measure where I want it to be. 1, 2, let's put this on first. It goes on fairly low, I know that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so she's a little bit smaller. I don't know what happened here. I think this is going to be plenty high. Let's look. Yeah, that makes sense. She's a little bit shorter than he is, so okay, at the 1/4 inch. I'm not putting a line on it because I don't want it to show, but I know on my grid where I want it, so that makes sense. So it's going down here. Let's see. Kind of want to get it centered if I can. It's a little bit lower than I might want it, so just a little bit. That blue mark, I'm gonna let it dry and show you how I fix it. Very simple. Again, we're going to put her arms on. And I kind of have them come out a little bit. This one will have the marshmallow on the stick. Let's do that real quick. Put the marshmallow on. This might be a little bit more prominent. I think it's just a little bit darker how I put that little oval on it. Well, that was really stupid. I don't want glue all over it. Just want glue on here. Goodness. Okay, before we put that on, we need to put her bows on, her hair, and they go right down here. Excuse me again, I'm sorry. I wanted something for the lighter blue, so to speak, something well, I just couldn't find a blue I wanted because all the blues I have are more like robin egg blue, or they just, yeah, didn't like them. So I was looking through the grays thinking, well, I could, like I said, do the blue on there. And then I found this, and so I was very happy that I did find that. I just need to put just a little bit more glue here. Well, I don't know if I'm blind or... Yeah. I think the hand will cover it. Also, excuse me. Yeah. Very good. When I get my lid on here, I will show you what the whole set looks like as soon as I'm done here. If you're still hanging around, I want to thank you for that. Oh, I can't remember, or can't forget to fix her that spot on her hair either. I don't know what I was making one time. Oh, I do. It was a Cuddly Designs. It was a campfire set. And I was just starting out with paper piecing. I didn't have the right color I needed for brown. I colored the whole piece, and it was fairly good size, with not white chalk, because I didn't know about white chalk at the time. I used, what I want to say, the sponges you can get, yeah, I think they have them from Stampin' Up. They're the big ones, or you could use a large sponge dauber. But yeah, I used that and white pigment ink, really, really light. And I got the whole color of the paper. It was brown, I remember that, and I changed the whole look of the paper. Worked good. I am going to, that's pretty dry. I'm just going to use my Jelly Roll pen and go over this. If you have a white colored pencil instead, go for it. That's all you need. So, worked. Once it dries, you'll never know. I'm learning to fix my mistakes as I go quite a bit, so yeah. Because for some reason I can make more mistakes than, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. If I don't quit playing, I'll just be here all night. So I'll just put this together and show you what it kind of looks like. Hopefully I can get it all in frame. Let's see where we at. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I can't see worth anything. You kind of get an idea. Let's see. I'm not going to put the stars out because I'll probably lose some. But I'll put the moon and some and that's just kind of how it was. Think. I don't remember. So I'm not finishing this yet, but so that's basically my finished set, and I appreciate you watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment, and have a wonderful day. Thanks, everybody.